Oh.
Don't tell me that's a bad sign.
That's not a good sign.
What are you talking about? It's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign.
Why are you scared? Oh! What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be episode 1 of reviving the Tokyo Drift Evo VIII, and if you guys have watched the last couple of videos, we have a lot of work to do, so let me go and show you guys what we're working on today. Before we get started with today's video, don't forget, do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't already, and also subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos. I know all of you guys know this car, and we're going to be reviving this thing, so if you haven't already, join the channel and stay up to date. If you guys haven't seen the last couple of videos on the Evo, definitely go check those out. I kind of explained everything that has to do with the car, the mileage, how long it's been sitting, all of that good stuff. So if you want any of that information, it'll be in the last couple of videos. But for today, we're actually going to get started. There's a lot of unknowns with this car. So I think the car, what was it, Tim, since like 2006 or 2009, the car's been sitting?
2006, the car's been sitting. 2007 was the last time the car was at an event, but they pushed it.
Ah, okay, makes sense. So it's been sitting for an extremely long time. That poses a bunch of problems for us. Now, we have no idea what the fuel tank looks like. It could be rusted inside the fuel tank. We have no idea what the oil's like, really anything. The car has original 10,500 miles on it, which is absolutely insane. It's super, super cool. Supposedly, there is some head work done, but they're not too sure what head work has been done to the engine. The car dynoed at like 425 horsepower, Tim. Was that what it was? 425, 450?
Yeah, that's around.
Somewhere in that range, but we're not too sure what kind of head work is done. So today, we're gonna be doing a ton of maintenance stuff. We have Sparko here to accompany and help us here. But we're gonna be doing a ton of maintenance stuff. We're gonna be pulling the spark plugs, pulling the injectors. This air filter in here is just so old and crusty, and it's one of those mesh ones. So these come with a lot of problems of the intake sucking in the mesh whenever it gets too soft. So we're gonna be pulling this guy off, and yeah, just overall doing a bunch of maintenance stuff and seeing what needs to be replaced with this car. What do you think? Are we gonna fix the car today? What do you think? Oh, yep.
Like when I was here, I was like, where are those from?
I think Sparko's pretty optimistic about the outcome of the Evo, huh, buddy? Yep. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the spark plugs. Like Tim has been saying, the thing that poses the biggest threat is, you know, rusty and bad fuel. I mean, this thing's been sitting for so unbelievably long that there's really a lot of things that could go wrong here.
All right, in the comments, 1 to 10, how rusty is it going?
Okay, well, I guess we'll be able to tell once we actually pull the injectors.
Yeah, you'll probably might be able to see rust there. If we see rust, then
What?
he wants to help.
All spark plugs have been pulled. Surprisingly, these are actually, like, if you guys can see on camera, these are actually pretty nice. They look almost kind of new, but since the car is so old, even though these might still be good, I'd rather just replace everything that we possibly can. So here are the old spark plugs. Tim went ahead and took off the filter, and wait till you guys see this. Oh God. So number one, this is just crusty and asking for stuff to get inside the air intake. But when we flip it, check this out. Oh, dude.
It's already breaking apart.
It's already breaking apart, but there's just tons of, oh God. There's tons of oil inside the filter, and you guys can see even inside of the intake itself. Oh God, dude, that is terrible. So lots of blow by in the air intake. What's kind of scary to see if the turbo's blown. I mean, it's so old that like you gotta expect it, but it would be cool if it was not blown because it's like a super OG HKS kit. But something that we are gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull off the charge piping, and we're gonna try and spin the turbo to see if it has any play in the turbine, just to see if the turbo's still good and if there's any oil actually in the turbo. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now, and the injector. You feel anything in there, Tim?
It's not bad shaft play.
No?
It's pretty normal. Because like once they fill up with oil, it actually tightens the shaft up. But
Really?
yes, it's really not bad.
That's got a little baby bit. A little.
That's about normal clearance.
I think you guys can probably hear it too. still spins good though. It's got a very, very small amount of shaft play. I think the turbo will be just fine for now. Obviously, I'll probably want to upgrade it or even just get it refreshed. But I think for now the turbo will be totally fine. But this does worry me with all of the oil. This does worry me with all of the oil inside the intercooler piping. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. And it's just like so old and yellow, pretty bad. All right, but now Tim is working on the injector. All right, Tim, bro, let's see it. Oh, that's a fat boy. Oh, is that rust?
It looks like definitely doesn't look right. So like, this is like really, really dark,
gross fuel.
rusty fuel. It looks like.
You think so?
Look at my finger. It's like brown, and that's coming out of
the actual
the
injector
sits
itself.
Like this, so the fuel comes in and comes down like that. So whatever I'm dumping out here is coming from the tank.
Oh no. This is not good.
Let me do another one and see if I can show that better. And then, well, this one looks clean. That one was really dirty. Weird.
We should definitely just check the fuel tank.
Yes.
So good thing we took them out. It looks like that one was bad, but these do have filters in them, so even if the fuel was bad, I don't think the motor should be hurt because we did try and crank the car. We wanted to go ahead and swap out the injectors anyway, so spark plugs, injectors, we might even do fuel lines and fuel rail. I haven't gotten that far yet. We really do need to see what's inside of the actual fuel tank before we can like make that decision. But yeah, getting all these done. Okay, last but not least for the engine bay, at least for today, what we're gonna check before we actually go check out the fuel is the radiator fluid. And I already looked inside the actual radiator and it's pretty freaking disgusting.
It's like a little bit rusty, a little bit green.
That's gross, dude. That's not good. I can see a little bit of green in there, but yeah, that's pretty dirty. It's pretty nasty. So I mean, I even think we're gonna upgrade radiators. This guy looks pretty thick, and I know we can get a smaller one to give us more clearance between the turbo kit and the radiator. Like I keep saying, all this stuff is gonna be completely replaced.
Yeah, it needs to be updated.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and see what the damage is in the fuel tank. I can get back here. The fuel is extremely, extremely old, and what we have to worry about is if the fuel splits and it's like water and fuel in the tank, there could be rust inside the fuel tank, which would be an absolute mess. So we're gonna open up the fuel cover, see if we can shine a light down there and see if there's any rust in the fuel tank, because if there is, we're gonna have to drop the entire fuel tank, try and clean it, or even get a new one or do a fuel cell, something like that. But we wanna see before we do anything to the car if there's any rust in it. Nice.
Oh.
Don't tell me that's a bad sign.
That's not a good sign.
What are you talking about? It's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign.
Why are you scared? Oh God, that's not good. Okay, you're right. That's a bad sign.
This is
that all
that's
just
a no-go. It's all rust.
It's all rust in there?
Look, that's off my finger.
So you think it's in the fuel tank?
All up in the fuel tank. You can see it.
Oh no, dude, no. Look at it. See if you can get this on camera. Look at it, dude. It's all rusted.
I don't know if I can.
Zoom in there.
Zoom in. Can you put your light in there?
Let's see.
Just put it in. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, look at that.
Hold on.
Do you see the bottom?
Focus. Yep. It's so bad.
I think I can pick it up.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's a donezo. Need a new fuel tank or clean that, but I suggest new. It's so bad. Well, we know what we have to do now.
Yeah.
We need to lift the car up and take the fuel tank out.
Oh no. All right. That's pretty bad, dude. All right, well, here we go. Oh, Tim, this is a disaster. This is not good.
It's a rusty
This
rust
is really, I literally picked up rust inside the fuel tank and just, it's gross, it's disgusting. So here's the actual fuel pump assembly right here. This used to be the filter.
Yep, that doesn't look like a filter anymore.
I'm guessing, is this where the fuel was just sitting inside the actual assembly?
Yeah, where it changes color, that's where the fuel was sitting.
So you can see how rusted the fuel is right here. Even right here, if you guys can tell, if it'll focus, the fuel pump inside the assembly is completely rusted out. Like that is just flaking. Oh, yep, there you go. You guys can probably see that. That's pretty bad. And now I checked the inside of the car because I wanted to know how much fuel was actually in the Evo before we dug into the fuel tank. And the actual gauge read that it was pretty much all the way empty. It was all the way on E. And now I know why. The fuel tank was actually full. Like that was a full fuel tank. Yeah. But the actual fuel pump assembly, and we have the floater right here, is no longer floating. It's stuck. So I'm guessing it was stuck at the bottom. This thing is completely rusted out, and it just stays wherever the gauge is. So I'm guessing it was just stuck at the bottom, not moving. Like this is trash, complete trash. So I mean, it's good that we found this because this is definitely a potential issue as to why the car wasn't starting in the first place. So not only are we going to be replacing all of the fluids, the spark plugs, the injectors, we have to drop the entire fuel tank. And that does not seem fun.
It's not. At all.
So another option that we do have though, I mean, no matter what we do have to drop the fuel tank. Another option that we do have is to do an actual fuel cell and upgrade that way. So just depends on what we can find. I mean, if we could find an OEM fuel tank, that's probably the best option for us right now, just to get this thing started, and then down the road we could do a fuel cell. But I guess we'll see what's available. But yeah, this is problem number one. Oh, look at that. That's actually okay. So it looks like good fuel. Yeah. Get too close to the camera.
The filter probably saved the motor.
So this thing is spewing fuel, but the fuel actually looks pretty good out of the actual fuel pump, which is good. But out of the tank, that is just really, really bad. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, this does mean that we are at a little bit of a standstill. This is most definitely what me and Tim signed up for when we heard that this car hasn't been running for 10 plus years. I mean, this is what to expect, and this is what is going to make it so exciting to revive this car. And I mean, once we get this car running, it's going to be such an accomplished and happy feeling to get my childhood hero car back up and running. But basically what this means is we can't really do anything until we get the fuel tank replaced. It does look like there's tons of replacements online for an OEM fuel tank, which is probably going to be our best bet. So now the mission begins to actually drop the fuel tank out of the car. Basically now it's going to be step by step, starting with the fuel tank to see where we go from here on getting the car started. So we're going to get a new fuel tank. We're going to put fresh fuel in it. We're going to have fresh injectors, fresh spark plugs, and fresh oil. And that's when we can try and start the car again to see what happens next. I mean, that's really all we can do for now because there's no telling what is causing this car not to run. Thankfully, the car turns over. Which means everything is getting power, everything is good there. Basically, Tim, we've done all the maintenance stuff that we could really figure out this time, yeah?
Yeah, like with the fuel tank being so rusty, it's not even worth going further. Because like that is the number one thing we got to do. Plus, I probably want to like do every single bit of the fluids. Like I mean, transmission, rear diff, all of that, just to make sure the car is good. Because when oil sits, it still goes bad.
Yeah.
So hopefully
we're gonna literally do everything, and I mean it's just starting from point A and going all the way to however many it takes in order to get this thing up and running. But that's the goal. Number one priority is get this car running as quickly as possible. So we're gonna do it as efficiently and as reliably as possible as well. So we're gonna start with OEM fuel tank.
Yep.
We are trucking along. Today's mission is to completely drop out the Evo's fuel tank. We're just gonna full send it. It doesn't look too bad. We're gonna go ahead and remove the mid pipe on the exhaust, the drive shaft, and then work our way from there. But the only problem that we're having here is these bolts are disgusting. This thing has traveled the world, been on the sea, or sailed the sea. So I'm sure everything's just really rusty and gross. So this is what we're dealing with. As you guys can tell here, it's pretty bad. Oh yeah. She's a pretty rusty girl down there. How's she look on the test pipe? Yeah, that gasket completely just exploded when we got the exhaust off, but step one, mid pipe is out. Mission number two, pulled the drive shaft, we're good to go. Now let's check out and see what all we need to remove for the fuel tank. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have tons of room up here to actually remove the fuel tank now. I'm hoping, and it looks like it could be just like 4 bolts, yeah?
It looks like 4 bolts, yeah.
I think there'll be more once we actually can get inside the tank. We obviously have to do the fuel fill nozzle, all of that stuff. But now, the real sucky part about this is draining the fuel. I wish you guys could smell through the computer right now because this fuel smells awful. And we're gonna have to drain the entire thing and it's gonna smell the entire shop. Our neighbors are gonna be really mad at us, but we gotta do it. Are you sending it to him? Is it ready?
No, I'm just making sure. I don't want it to like, you know, get all over me.
Yeah, so this is definitely gonna be the worst part. We're gonna go ahead and drain the fuel now. And if it looks bad, I'll show you guys. Oh, yep, there's the smell. Oh, it's like rubbing alcohol.
Back of the head first. It's like apocalyptic. I feel like you're a dad right now.
All right. Oh, fuck.
Sorry. I don't know if y'all can see this, if it'll focus. There's rust on the actual bolt for the plug.
Good news here is both fuel tanks are going to be empty, so it's going to be a lot lighter for us to take them off. Bad news is it's going to continuously leak like this for a long time, I feel like. So now we went ahead and drained all the fuel. Surprisingly, it was a lot less than I had expected. As you guys can see, it was less than 5 gallons, but look how dirty the fuel is. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but this is like a brownish color. Just looks like complete trash, but all the fuel's out and we are good to go. Let's go ahead and try and pull the fuel tank. Bro, fuel tank.
The dust flies
everywhere. So what I was talking about in the reveal video, like this is literally what was on top of the entire car.
It was worse than that. This is under the car.
Yeah.
Imagine what the actual car looked like.
Ah, sick. Well, we got the gas tank out now. Now, I think I want to look inside because we're going to decide whether or not we're going to, restore this guy or get a new one. So let's break her open. Let's take it outside so it's not all smelly.
So bad.
All right, Tim, bro, time to see what's in side number 2. Oh God, I gotta peek. Are you ready for this? Look inside of this one. Did you bring your light? So yeah, this definitely explains the no start issue. Wait till you guys can actually look inside of this. Oh God, it's so gross. Oh no, it's like diarrhea. Like a diarrhea fuel tank. Oh dude, that's just a lost cause.
I don't know about repairing that one.
No. Oh my gosh, Tim.
The whole thing's like that.
Yeah, definitely.
You can see in, like this is just a tray. You can see past it and it's all rusted throughout. That
confirms we are not going to be repairing this fuel tank, and we actually have to either get a fuel cell or find someone that's selling a nicer OEM fuel tank, which would be great because that's plug and play, and a fuel cell will take a little bit longer, even though it would be sick. But I guess whichever option comes up faster. But yeah, this definitely confirms no go on repairing this fuel tank. All right, well, the good news here is we have it out, we know what needs to be fixed, and we can get what needs to be fixed. The only issue is, now that the fuel tank is out, we are at a complete standstill. There's nothing else that we can really do to test and see if the car is gonna run because we don't have fuel. So we're at a little bit of a standstill until we can actually figure out the fuel issue. I think we're gonna end up going with just a complete fuel cell setup. I think with the amount of work that we have to do with the stock fuel tank, plus ordering all of the components that go along with the fuel tank, a fuel cell is already gonna be an upgrade. The car car should have a fuel cell because it already is a full race car as it is. So I think the best option here is just to go ahead and do a fuel cell while we have everything out currently. So that's what we're gonna be waiting on. We're working on that right now. Trying to get a fuel cell that will be complete and that's pretty much as basic and plug and play as it can come. Because the real goal here is to just get this car running as fast as possible and as reliably as possible. And obviously starting with the fuel, that is gonna be our best bet. Judging by the way the stock fuel tank looked, I'm really hoping that that's the issue that they were having where this car wouldn't start. But it could be a number of different things. We just have to start with the fuel. But that's good news. And before we leave, I want to show you guys something. Last but not least, we are bringing back the S2K. We have a track day coming up tomorrow. We're gonna do a little shakedown. I haven't driven this car since GTA, so I want to go back, drive it, see what feels funny, see how the car itself feels. I haven't driven anything on track other than the 570S lately, so this is gonna be a nice change of pace. I really miss driving the S2K. So I'm gonna do a little shakedown, and then after the shakedown, we're gonna take it back to the shop, and I want to revive it. I want to do some cool things to it, possibly boost it, maybe, I don't know. I want to bring it back, and I want to drive more in the S2000 because I really do love this car, and I do miss it. But that is gonna be it for today. I hope you guys are really enjoying the Tokyo Drift Evo Revival Series. This is just gonna be absolutely amazing once we can actually get this thing running. I will keep you guys up to date on the whole fuel issue. We are already working with a company to help to get us a fuel cell as quickly as possible, so don't worry. But yeah, that's gonna be everything for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Stay up to date with everything that we're doing because we have so much amazing content coming up for you guys, and I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. So all right guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.